Question 16, the first of the writing part, is to use properties of tangents. This is from the module 5.5. Here we have been given a figure and they have told to find the value of x. We need to assume the segments that appear to be tangent are tangents and round the answer to the nearest 100 if needed. Now, which over here looks like a tangent? Tangent is something that touches the circle outside of the circle only at one point. See, now if we have something like this, a circle, this line which cuts 2 points is a secant. Even this is a secant. As we go close enough, there will be one line which only touches 1 point. It passes such that it will only touch 1 point. And that is a tangent. And when you draw a straight line, say like this, from the tangent to the center of the circle, it always forms a 90 degree over here. So now here we can easily observe that this cannot be a tangent. This is the radius over here. But this one is a tangent because this is cutting inside the circle, whereas this is touching only outside the circle. So this is a tangent at the point J. And this will be the 90 degree angle. Now then, if this is the case, what can we use here? We can use the Pythagoras theorem. For Pythagoras theorem, we can write HK, that is the hypotenuse. This is the hypotenuse. And this are the other two sides, the adjacent of the 90 degree. So here we write HK the whole squared will be equal to JH and JK. JH the whole squared plus JK the whole squared. This is Pythagoras theorem. Now what Pythagoras theorem says is the square of the hypotenuse is the sum of squares of the other two sides. And now we will substitute what is H and K. It is x squared equals, what is JH? It is 15 squared plus JK is 20 squared. Technically, if you write the formula, this is the first one, the substitution, and then the answer directly, you should get full marks. Why? Because you have written the formula, you have written the substitution, and you can use your calculators and get the answer. But over here, what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to do one more step. I'll just take the square off and I'll just take the square root and write 15 squared plus 20 squared. And then if you write x is equal to whatever the answer, that should give you the full marks. Even if you have written this and the final answer should get full marks. If I was correcting, I would definitely give it a full marks because you can get the answer from here. You can do the step in mind. But to be on safe side, write the 4 steps because this is the writing part, and then get the answer from the calculator. Let's take our calculators and solve it up. Here I'll do both these steps. First one, you can take it as x squared equals 15 squared plus 20 squared, and you need to press shift and solve to solve for x, and equal to, it'll take a few moments. In your physical calculator, it'll take much more time than what I can get it over here. There's a computer simulation here. So the answer is 25. That's the answer. You need to press equal to and check. Yes, that's 25. Another way is just solving this out. Now here we are not using x because x is already at one side. You just solve this part. It's square root of 15 squared plus 20 squared. That's it. The answer is 25. X is 25 units. And that's it. We found the x value. Now this is a very basic problem. Let's look into a little bit harder problem. So that's the answer here. Now this one here is a little bit tricky because you can see the x value. It's not the entire RT. It is just from U to T. You can see it's only the outside of the circle, this part of that line from U to T. What about R to U? What is this value? This much will be the radius, isn't it? From here to here, SR or RS is the radius, same as RU. So if RS is 15, even RU is going to be 15. And now we can solve it up. Now here, we can write RT squared Why? Because this is the tangent, isn't it? ST, this is 90 degrees. Opposite to S is RT, that is the hypotenuse. That'll be square of that is equal to SR squared plus ST squared. And then what do we have to do is substitute. What is RT? RT here is 15 plus X. This is it. Next, what can we do? We can just substitute it here. 15 plus X the whole squared is equal to, what do we have is 15 squared plus 36 squared. Here we can use the whole power 2, a plus b the whole power 2, expand it and then solve it. But the easier way would be just take the square root on the other side. It'll be 15 plus x is equal to the square root of 15 squared plus 36 squared. And we can simplify this easily in the calculator and subtract by 15. This 15 goes to the other side. That will be answer. I'll just write that step as well. X is equal to square root 15 squared plus 36 squared, and this 15 to the other side will be minus 15, and this is X. Or you can just put this entire thing in the calculator. You're supposed to get full marks this step, and this step. But if your teacher expects you to do one more step at least, just do this step. You know the square is there, just take the square root on the other side and then solve it up. We will do it in the calculator now. Over here, I'll show you solving from this second step itself. 15 plus x, close the bracket, the squared will be equal to 15 squared plus 36 squared. Shift and solve. This is not the answer, this is the previous store answer. You need to press equal to and then press again equal to. The answer is 24. Or else what we can do is we can just do the square root 15 squared, 15 squared plus 36 squared. Press next. Don't put the minus 15 over here. This is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. You need to put the minus outside of square root. The square root is only for 15 squared plus 36 squared. Here is minus 15. The answer will be 24. Both the answer matches over here or from this step. So x is 24 units, and that is the correct answer. Here you can see it's 24. Now, if you're going to use power 2, if you're going to expand, I would suggest you not to do that. It's just going to be, you're use a plus b the whole squared formula for this expansion, and you get a quadratic form, and then you can use calculator and find two answers. Ultimately, you'll get one negative and one positive. Negative cannot be the answer. But if you do the method which I just showed you, you will just get one true answer. You don't need to involve quadratics over here because this method is also absolutely right. Now, what about this problem? Now, if you have understood the concept of this, you better try all these problems by yourselves. I will be solving all the remaining problems, but you can just go ahead and solve them by yourself. You can pause the video now, solve it, and then check for the answers only. Here, this ZB looks like the tangent, so we consider that to be the tangent. It doesn't look like it is the tangent because they have clearly told assume the segments that appear to be tangent are tangent. And now then hypotenuse is YB. So YB the whole power 2 will be equal to this sum of other two sides, ZY squared plus ZB squared. What is YB? Now this is 8. What is the radius YA? It's 21, given over here 21. So now what is YB exactly? It's 21 plus 9. The total over here would be 29. So it's 29 squared. That is equal to the sum of the other two sides. 21 squared plus x squared. Now hypotenuse is completely known. This is known. X squared, that is a side, is unknown. So what you can do over here is take this 21 to the other side. It'll be 29 squared minus 21 squared equals x squared. Now take the square root. 29 squared minus 21 squared is equal to x. Solve this, you'll get the answer. Or even if you put this directly in the calculator, you can get the answer. You can do this and also check the above one. I've typed this square root 29 squared minus 21 squared. The answer is 20. As you can see, x is 20 units. We will try this one now. The same thing, I'm directly gonna write this as hypotenuse PR squared will be equal to PQ squared plus QR squared. It's crucial to write this formula, then substitute it. So here x is the radius and this part is x. The total over here is x plus 4. So PR is x plus 4 the whole squared. That is equal to, now this is going to be a little tricky, it's going to be x squared plus 17 squared. Now what is the issue? We cannot take square root over here. If we take the square root, then it's gonna be x square root of x squared. It's just gonna be complicated, right? In this case, if you're solving, by steps, you have to use the a plus b the whole square rule. So what is a plus b the whole square? I'm just gonna write it over here. The rule is a plus b the whole squared, that is equal to the first term squared plus 2 times both the terms multiplied plus b squared. This is the expansion. So now what's going to happen over here? It's going to be x squared plus 2 times x multiplied by 4 plus 4 power 2. That is equal to the remaining terms, that is x squared plus 17 squared. Now here it's going to be a quadratic. Now we take this to the other side. Sorry, it's not going to be a quadratic because it's going to cancel out. This x squared over here and over here cancels off. And what do we have is 8x, not 8 times 4. It's going to be 8. 4 times 2 is 8x plus 16. That is equal to 17 squared. And now take the 16 to the other side. It's going to be 17 squared minus 16. That is 8x, and x is equal to 17 squared minus 16 divided by 8. You just put this all in the calculator, you get the answer. Now you do not need to be so elaborate on all these steps. Hardly 2 steps and directly the answer from the calculator is also enough. I've just typed this equation over here. X plus 4 the whole square equals x squared plus 17 squared. If you press shift and solve, this is the previous stored answer, then press equal to, you get 34.125. That's the answer. Let's look over here as well. If we solve this up, press on, or you can just go to more than 1. You'll be back to the computation mode. It's 17 squared minus 16 divided by 8. The answer is 34.125 itself. But here they have clearly told us nearest 100. So we can't write 125. You can write x is equal to 34.125, but then the answer actually must be 34.13. This is your final answer. Or you can directly write 13 from your calculator. So here you can see this is the correct answer. Another problem here. Now here this will be the 90 degrees. So the hypotenuse is EG the whole squared equals FE squared plus FG squared. You can write this as EF squared or GF squared, it's fine, And then what do we know? This is x. So I'm going to write x plus 9 the whole squared. That is equal to FE is x squared again plus FG is 15 squared. Here it's going to be the first term squared plus 2 times x times 9 plus 9 squared. That is equal to x squared plus 15 squared. And here we have x squared plus 18x plus 9 squared equals x squared plus 15 squared. We can cancel it off and we will just take x will be equal to 15 squared minus 9 squared, 225 minus 81 divided by 18. Put it in the calculator and you will get the answer. Here we go. I've substituted everything. The answer is 8. X is 8. We have similar problem again. This is the tangent, that's WZ, and this is 90 degrees. So the hypotenuse would be WY squared is equal to ZW squared plus ZY squared. Substitute whatever is given. X squared is given, that is equal to, that is WY squared, is equal to YZ. Now we have x minus 2 the whole square inside these two sides. See, there are two unknown terms, and then we have plus 10 squared. And here x squared will remain. What happens here? It's x squared plus 2 times, oh sorry, now it's not plus over here. Since it's minus, the rule is if it is a plus b the whole squared, it'll be a squared plus 2 times ab plus b squared. Or you can write it, or if it is a minus b, you should write it as a squared minus 2 times ab plus b squared. You can write a squared plus b squared plus 2 times ab at this as the last term anyway. They're all added up together. Here, the middle part, minus 2ab will be negative. So this is minus 2 times x times 2 plus 2 squared. This one remains the same. The square of this is same, plus 2 squared itself. And then we have plus 10 squared. Now this cancels off with this. So what happens over here is basically it's 0. But we can move this x term to the other side. It will be 2 times 2 is 4. Minus 4x to the other side will be plus 4x is equal to 4 plus 100. That is 104 divided by 4 is x. And x is 2526. So that's the answer. You can easily solve them. So whichever, you can also write a couple of steps, then use the calculator directly and get the answer as well. Now we are moving to a little different type of problem. It's about tangents itself, but you can see both these tangents of the circle A are having the same exterior point C. That means this tangent and this tangent is going to be equal. So now CB and CD are equal. So you don't need to write everything. The statement is, since CB and the tangent CB and CD are having the same exterior point, CB tangent is equal to, this bar indicates it's a line, is equal to CD. Now what is CB? X plus 3. That must be equal to 7. So if that's the case, x is 7 minus 3, x is equal to 4. That's it. You don't even need to use a calculator over here. It's so simple. And let's solve this one over here. Again, they are at the same exterior point A. So AB is congruent or equal to AC, the line AC. And we have 4x plus 2. That will be equal to 2x plus 8. We'll take 2 to the other side because 2x is smaller than 4x. So 4x minus 2x, and keep all the numbers at one side. 8 minus 2. It will be 2x is equal to 6. X is equal to 3. They have just told us to find x, isn't it? That's it. Pretty easy problems, and you can see the answer is 3. Here we will learn about additional rule and conditional probability. All our real world problems, we need to read and understand. It's very important you look into these figures, the numbers, these are very important things. So let us look into it. Scholarships. A review committee read 3,000 application essays for one $5,000 college scholarship. So the total is 5,000. Since it's the writing part of the exam, you can write total applications given this is equal to 3,000. The step 1 is given, whatever is given. Of the applications reviewed, 2,865 essays were of required length. Now, don't write P or anything. You can just write applications of required length. Required length. That's given to be 2,865. And what about the next one? 2,577 of the applications had minimum required grade point. Applications with minimum, MIN is the short for minimum, grade points. Grade point. Applications with minimum grade points is over here, 2,577. And 2,486 at the required length and minimum grade points. Applications with both. But you need to write, what does both mean? Required length, I'm just going to write in short form, required length and minimum grade points. Okay, in the exam, write applications with both required length and minimum grade points. They weigh 2486. So this is all given. Now then, what is the probability that an application is selected at random will have the required length or required grade point? Here you can see this is the additional rule because or is mentioned. The rule is given by step 2 is find the required length or required grade point. That would be probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A and B. Okay, so here you can write this as probability of A, not probability of A, sorry, it is just A, B, A and B. This is A and B. How do you write the probability? It is 2865 divided by the total. How much is the total? It's 3000 plus 2577 divided by 3000 minus the common. This is it. This will be the answer. You can just put in the calculator and you will get the answer. Here, few important things. Write what is given. Then this is the formula. It's a standard formula. But here, remember, whichever is told both, say over here, minimum grade points and it was the minimum required grade points and the length. Whereas, okay, over here, the next one. Required length and minimum grade points is this much, right? So this is and or intersection, P intersection B. Inverted U is called intersection. So that is very important. Figure out where it is. And what is the required length and the required grade points are given separately. You need to add them both and subtract what is the common. That is how you get it. And remember, always probability is given by desired by total. The total over here is 3000, isn't it? So that's how we do it. We'll just put in the calculate. So we'll just put this in the calculator now. Here we have to put 2865 divided by 3000 plus, just go next and then plus. So let's type out what is known. It is 2865 by 3000. Next, it's adding with 2577 by 3000 minus the common terms 2486 by 3000. So that's the answer. It is 739 by 750. You can write in fraction. Look into the, since it's the writing exam, you can write it like this or you can write in percentage. It's up to you. See, if you're writing this as the answer, you must get full marks. So no problem. This is the correct answer itself in fractions. But it's a simple thing to. But I would suggest you write it even in percentage. You can either put brackets and multiply it by 100, or whatever you get the answer, right? This separately multiplied by 100, it's 98.5%. Now they have not told round it off to the nearest tenth or anything. So 98.5%. I'm just going to write these two. Or you can write it as 0.985 as well. So that will be the answer. So this answer is for this. The probability that an application selected at random will be required length or required grade point. So if you're wondering what was over here, it is, I forgot to write it, or B. So it can be either A or B. Any of these conditions, this is the formula given. So over here, you don't need to write it as length, grade points. You can even write instead of A, L for length, G for grade points. And instead of A, you can write over here L and G. That's up to you. But I just take the first thing as A and second thing as B. So you need to write so much, then you'll get full marks in writing as well. See over here, main concept is only that much. But it would be really nice if you write the given and then do this. Write a step of given all these values and then write whatever is given over here and then the final answer. I would suggest you to solve these problems by yourselves. You can pause the video, try them all by yourselves, and then you can look into the explanation. It's about pets. Ruby scattered 8 kittens. The litter, all the kittens, the group of kittens, means litter, included 2 orange females, 3 mixed color females, 1 orange male, and 2 mixed color males. Ruby wanted to keep 1 kitten. What is the probability that she randomly chooses a kitten that is female or orange? Probability of A, well, A is equal to female kittens. Female kitten, that is equal to, how many are there female kittens? So 2 orange females and 3 mixed color females, it's total 5. It's not about the color, it's only about females. These are all males. Over here there are 5 females. And what about orange kittens? Orange kittens. Here we have orange. Over here there is okay, 2 orange females and 1 orange male, that is 3. So these are the values. Now A and B, we need A or B. See, probability of A or B is given as probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B, or A and B. So now we need to know what is A and B, isn't it? So what do we want is female and orange, which are female and orange kittens. Orange. Okay, this is the female and orange. Can you see 2 orange females? So it is 2. Now, what about these probabilities? You can write over here, probability of A would be 5 out of, what are the total kittens? 8. Probability of B is equal to, probability of B is equal to 3 over 8. And lastly, probability of A and B, I'm just going to write inverted U for intersection, is 2 over 8. So all we do is we write them out, 5 by 8 plus 3 by 8 minus 2 by 8. Just put in the calculator, you'll get the answer. It'll be 6 by 8. So that's the answer. You can find the percentage as well. Just multiply this by 100. So 6 by 8 is 3/4. 3/4 is 75%. That's how we solve these. The remaining problem, okay, now this is about table. You can try this by yourselves. I'm just going to write directly. I'm not going to write detailed, okay? I'm just going to write probability of A, B, and the answer. The table shows the age and number of participants in each sports at a sporting complex. So what is the probability that a player is 14 years old, age is 14, and plays basketball? So all you need to do is probability of A is 14 years old, right? Add all of them. What is the probability of A? 14 years, 28, 36, 42. It will be 28. So it's not 38, it's 28 plus 36 plus 42. What about the probability of B? It's basketball. Basketball. Here it is 42 plus 33 plus 29. You need to write in detail. I'm just going to write this. Players who are 14 years old needs to be written over here. Probability of A, players who play basketball. Let's find the answer here. It is 40, 70, 80, 90, 100, 106. And over here we have 50, 90, 100 and 104. Now there is one more probability, probability of A and B. What does that mean? 14 years old and basketball. So who are playing basketball who are 14 years old? This is the number, right? 14 years, basketball. It's 42 people. So the probability of, now again I've done a mistake. It's not probability of A, but if I've written probability of A, it should be just A. Let me just make that proper. It's just A, not probability. I'll write the probabilities below. Probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A and B Now, how do we write is 106? Yes, but we need to find the total as well. What is the total? You need to add all the boxes here. It's this plus all the numbers needs to be added. We'll just use the calculator because there are plenty of values. That is written divided by. Here it is 104 divided by the total minus 42 divided by the total. Now, whatever you get in the answer, the answer that is probability of A or B, that is 14 years old or basketball. It will be 28. Don't repeat any box twice. 28, 36, 42, 30, 26, 33, 35, 41, and lastly we have 29. And the answer is 300. So here every way we have to divide by 300. And again put that in the calculator and you'll get the answer. Here let's use fractions. 106 divided by 300 minus plus 104 divided by 300. That's over here 300. And lastly minus 42 divided by 300. The answer is 14 by 25 or 56%. So here we go. Let's look at this problem. Use a model. Vicente and Kelly are designing a board game. They decide that the game will use a pair of dice, and the players will have to find the sum of the numbers rolled. Okay, Vincent and Kelly created the table showing to help. Basically, over here there are two dice. A die will have six numbers, right? 1 to 6. So either when you throw in two dice, you can get either 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, and all these possibilities. There are total 36 possibilities. Each player will roll the pair of die twice during the player's turn. What is the probability of rolling a pair or two numbers that have sum of 7? What does it mean to rolling a pair? Same numbers. Now from this table, which have same numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is rolling a pair. Or the sum must be 7. When you add it, it must be 7. Here, 6 plus 1 is 7. All these are less than that. But what about this is 7? Others are 8. It should be exactly 7. Sum must be 7. Here, 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 and here. So these are the situations. Are there any common? Look here, 1, 2. Are there any of these common or overlapping numbers? No, these are some of sevens, which I'm putting in a rectangularish box. And the circles, there is nothing that overlaps. So there is nothing that overlaps. So the formula will be probability of A plus probability of B. That's it. Probability of A or B will be, there's no overlapping, so minus will be 0. No need of writing that. So what is the first probability? It is 3 plus 3, it's 6 by total is 36 plus again 6 by 36. That's the answer. It'll be 12 by 36. 12 goes one time and three times. It is 1/3 or 33%, 33.33%. So that's the answer. Here we go. Its pair is 6 of them, which I just marked, and sum of 7 is also 6. Now, the second part of this question is, what is the probability of rolling two numbers whose sum is even number and not rolling a 2? Okay. Here, sum of even numbers. Whenever two even numbers are there, it will be even, or two odd numbers. Okay. But whenever even and odd, it doesn't work out. See, these won't work out. This is even odd, and over here these are even numbers. Similarly, you can see here it is this, and this. So how many numbers will be there? It will be, each row there are 3, so it's going to be 18. So this one here, all these are even numbers. So whatever I've just put a circle are even. So probability of A would be all even numbers. I'll write this formula: probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A and B. So that is 18 out of 36 plus, what is the next one? Not rolling 2. Let me just change the color here. Not rolling 2 means I shouldn't have this. So let me just cut that off. Not rolling 2. This is not included. And this one as well. These, why I'm cutting this off, because if there is 2 over there, that should not be there. All the others now here, all the other values, say I have this one, all those are included. So I'll just draw lines like this because they're all included here. Other than these pink cross marks, all of them are included. So which are those? 1 1, 1 3, 1 4, whichever doesn't have 2, isn't it? Let's count them. There's one easy way to count. How many 2's are there? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So out of 36, 11 have 2. So remaining 36 minus 11 will be 25 out of 36 do not have 2. Not rolling a 2 is 25 by 36. So that's how we get that. And then what are the intersecting? See, can you see these both are intersecting, right? Basically, here this one, other than this, these 3 all will be, sorry, there are 5 which are not. Let's count it anyways. This one is intersecting. 1, 2, 3. They are all common. 4. What about this one? See, all of them. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. You can see over here, other than the one which are excluded, here outside literally all are selected for the B, and whichever is there for A will be intersecting over here. So it's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So it's minus 13 by 25. You just have to put this in the calculator and you'll get the answer. It'll be 12 over here. At 12, it's going to be 30 by 36. So this must be the answer. It is 6, 5 times 5 by 6 must be the final answer. Or it'll be 83%, 83.33%. So that's how we do this. I hope that's clear. If the table is given, it's very, very simple to understand. Now another problem, a similar one which we did a while ago. The table shows parks and recreation department classes and a number of participants' ages 7 to 9. What is the probability that a participant chosen at random is in drama? This is the one, and 8 years old. So this one over here and this one. So we just find the sum. 30, 51, 55, 65 is 8 years old. What are the total? You just have to find the sum of all these. We'll just use calculate for that. And over here we have 30, 50, 90, 100 plus 100 in drama minus, what are the common ones? These are the common who are 8 years old and go to drama. So you just have to divide by all the sum of these numbers. And then you just put in the calculator. Here we have 40 plus 35 plus 25 plus 30 plus 21 plus 14 added to 20, 44, and the last one is 11. So it's 240 of them. 240, 240, 240. And then you just put this in the calculator entirely, you'll get a single value. Let's just jump to the answer. You can see, yes, this is correct. They have written 100 by 240 first. That's absolutely fine because they are told drama first. I did second one because you're adding them up. You can write any order, it's okay. The final answer will be 3/5 or 60% or 0.6. Now the similar one again, Erin is planning a summer garden. The table shows the number of bulbs she has according to the type of color of flower. Okay, these are the bulbs, orange, yellow, white, and these are the flowers. What is the probability she wants? She selects a bulb for a yellow flower or dahlia. Okay, yellow and the dahlia. Simple numbers here. Dahlia, how many yellow are they? 5, 10, 11 out of the total over here. You just have to add them all. Plus, what is dahlia? 9, 12. Minus, what is the common term? It is 4 divided by. So if you find the sum of all these, just put it in the calculator. Here we go. It's 11 by 36. The sum of them is 36 plus 12 by 36 minus 4 by 36, and that's it. We move on to the conditional probability problem. Let's look into this problem. A Spanish club is having a potluck lunch where each student brings in cultural dish. The 10 students randomly draw numbered cards numbered with consecutive integers from 1 to 10. Students who bring odd numbers will bring the main dish. So there are 10 chits of numbers, and these 10 students who are there in the class pick them randomly. So if at all you get numbers, odd numbers like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, you bring main dish. Whereas the students who draw even numbers, that is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, will bring desserts. If Cynthia is bringing dessert, what is the probability that she drew the number 10? Dessert is something like a sweet, or after any meal you have any nice sweet, that is a dessert. Here we need to first know conditional probability problem is B by A. B condition A is given as A intersection B by probability of A. A is the condition. Now, Cynthia is bringing a sweet or a dessert, so that means it is going to be even numbers. So, probability of A is important. You need to figure out from the question, the last part, when they tell this is the probability to find what has already happened. This is the condition. This means bringing dessert means it'll be drawing even numbers. Probability of A is drawing even numbers. And your even number. What is the probability of drawing even number in 1 to 10? It is 50%, right? Because there are 5 even numbers out of 10. So we'll just leave it like that. There are 5 even numbers out of 10. You can write 1 by 2, but I'll just leave it over there. The next one, no need of finding the probability of B. We just need A and B, or A intersection B. It's the same thing, A and B and this inverted U. So what is the probability that it can be either an even number or 10? How many 10s are there? Only one, right? 1 out of 10. So it's only one possibility because you need the specific number 10 out of the even numbers. So this is the only possibility, A and B. So A is even number, B is 10. There are only one possibility, and the total numbers divide. Probability means divided by the total. I'll write over here total number of students, right, is equal to 10. So whatever these probabilities you're finding will be divided by 10 only. So these are the steps required. Now you can directly do the step 2 formula. Let's solve it. Probability of B condition A is equal to probability of A and B is 1/10 divided by 5/10. So this cancels. It's 1/5. It's 20% chance. So she drew the number 10 provided she's bringing a dessert. So that's it. That'll be the answer. You can see over here. Okay, over here the sample space, this, that, and all is given. You don't even need to do that. See, it's just very, very simple. This is it you need to do. And there are other ways as well finding this out. There is other shortcut methods, but that'll be only good for direct calculator methods. But now since you have to do in writing, you have to do it. The other methods would be, if Cynthia is bringing a dessert, what is the probability she drew? 10. So already we know this condition is what? Bringing a dessert is even numbers. What are the total possibility of even numbers? 5. 10, it's only 1 out of 5. So this is also possible, but this is the actual method. Better to do this. Let's do these problems quickly. A card is randomly drawn from a standard deck of 52 cards. A standard deck will always have 52 cards. So what is the probability that the card is a king of diamond, given that the card drawn is a king? This is the condition, given that. So probability, you need to write in detail. I'm just going to write the answer here. A intersection B by probability of A. Probability of A, what is it? The card is drawn as a king. How many kings are there in a set of deck of cards? 4. There is spades king. The spades like this. There is clubs. These are the 2 black suits. Then there are diamonds. Okay, that's a very bad diamond. It's a red suit. And there is hearts. That's red suit. So there are 4 suits which are very, very badly drawn here. There are 4 kings and there are total 52. Okay, now I didn't write it properly. That is probability of A. Let me write it over here. 4 by 52. What about probability of A and B? How many king of diamonds are there in the entire deck? It's only one. So this cancels off. It's 1/4. Now, another way to check your answer. Probability of drawing a king of diamond. Condition, it's a king. How many kings are there? There are 4 kings, and king of diamond, there is only one. So 1/4. So the answer is that. But you need to write the probability of A, just writing, and then put the formula and solve. It's about a game. In a game, a spinner with 7 colors of the rainbow is spun. Okay, rainbow has 7 colors, and find the probability that the color spun is blue. Given that the color has 3 primary colors, red, yellow, blue. Over here, it's the condition. Given that they have told 3 primary colors, 3 out of 7, and up above, what we have to write? The probability of A and B. It should be blue and common with this condition and this, right? Blue is the only color which is common, 1 out of 7. Or you can also think like this, which is common here, only 1 common, and how many total are there over here? It's 3 1/3, or the 7 cancels. Answer is 1/3. Over here we have about cards. 15 cards numbered 1 to 15 are placed on a hat. What is the probability that the card has a multiple of 3 on it, given that the card picked is an odd number? Now down one, we just need odd numbers out of 15. Sometimes students tell it's 7 and some tell 8. 15 by 2 is 7.5, approximated to 8, because we start with 1, not with 0. But the actual method, I mean, see, the cards are very less. So just write out the odd numbers: 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, and 15. Why it is important? Because we need also the second one. Now, I'll just write this out. It's 3, 6, 8 out of 15. But what are the multiples of 3? First, write the multiples of 3. It's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Don't write here 5. What are the common? Because we need this and this. These both and, isn't it? The formula is probability of B condition A is P and B. Then inverted U is intersection, or it means and. Both of them must be there. Then probability of A, the condition. So here we have 3, 1, 9, 15. So there are 3 out of 15 that are common. So it's 3 by 8. That's the final answer. So here we go. Here we have been told about marbles. A blue marble is selected at random from a bag of 3 red and 9 blue marbles and not replaced. Okay, this is important. What is the probability that the second marble drawn will also selected will be blue? So probability of B condition A is given as A intersection B by A. It's very easy to find the condition. What is the probability that the second marble will be blue? But that's not the condition. What is the condition? This one. A blue marble is selected at random. So probability of A down. What is the possibility of selecting a blue marble? There are total 9 out of 12. Very simple, right? Or you can write it as 3/4. But what is probability of A and B? A and B means probability of having a blue marble, 9 by 12, and again next one will be blue marble, right? What is the condition of second one being blue? Here out of 9, 1 is gone, it will be 8, and out of 12, 1 is gone, it will be 11. Why? Because it's not replaced. You took 1 marble from here, out of 9, 1 is gone, 8 are remaining. Even out of the total, there are 3 red, yes, but now instead of 9, there are only 8 blue marbles. So this is the condition. Now you need to simplify this. 2 times, 3 times, 3 1 times, and over here 3 times. It's 6 by 11. So here you just write 6 by 11. Now you need to put that in the calculator and then solve it up. You will get the final answer. Just this. It's 6 by 11. And why they have written 3/4 is 9 by 12 is 3/4. Just put in the calculator. It's 8 by 11. And that's 73%. That's how we solve it. It is conditional probability, but just that A and B, remember, first one, 3/4 is 9 by 12. Say 9 by 12 or 3/4. That's why I written 3/4. Next one will be 8, because 1 blue is gone, and out of 12 there will be 11 only. A die is rolled if the number rolled is less than 5. Okay, that's the condition, less than 5. How many numbers? 4 out of 6. In a die, there are 6, right? What is the probability that the number is 2? Probability of A and B will be 2 or less than 4. How many are there? Only 1, right? Because they have told less than 4 and 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 2. Only 1 is the common term. So it's 1 by 4th or 25% here. So 1 by 6 divided by 4 by 6, 25%. If two dice are rolled, what is the probability that the sum of the faces is 4? Given that the first die rolled is odd. Okay, now two dice are rolled. You remember the box, right? Where we had 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. The same thing needs to be remembered now. We don't need to draw it up. If two dice are rolled, what is the probability that the sum of the faces is 4? So what will give you 4? It's either 1 and 3. So 1, 3. I'll just write it in terms of 1, 3. 3, 1. This is also going to give. And given that the first, okay, now here there is a very important thing. First die rolled is odd. If you are rolling the first die odd, what is the total possibilities? Out of 36, it's only half of it. 18 out of 36. That's the first condition. Half of them can be first. Only the first die must be odd. That's the given condition. It's half, 50%. It'll be either odd or even. The next condition is very important. Now we need to find the sum of 3, the sum of the faces of 4. So there are two dice, but here we are not going to write all the possibilities. We are not going to write 2 and 2. Why? Because we need to have the first die odd. So 1 and 3 is true because it's odd. Even 3 and 1 is true, it's odd. What about the other things? 2 and 2 not possible because it's even numbers. 3 and 1 already is written. What about 4? 4 and 0 is not. Okay, only these two are the possibilities. No, nothing else, right? Yeah. So you don't need to draw it because there are no other numbers. Think of this. If you just change this number even more than 1 or less than 1, it's not possible anyways. There's no 0. You won't get 4. So only there are two possibilities. So the answer is 2 by 18 or 1 by 9. So that should be the final answer. It's 1, 9. So you can see here they have written all the possibilities, but you don't need to do that. See, these are all the possibilities. From this, okay, this is the odd numbers. From this, you have to find the sum of a sum that gives you 4. 1 and 3 and 3 and 1. If you count all the others, it'll exceed that, more than 4. So the answer will be 1 by 18 divided by, this is actually 18 by 36, which I have written over here. 2 by 36 and 18 by 36. Answer will be same. A spinner numbered 1 through 12 is spun. So there are total 12. Find the probability that the number of spinner is an 11, given that the number spun was an odd number. So out of this, possibility of odd, 6 by 12 or 1 by 2. And out of odd, how to get 11? There is only one possibility of getting 11. So 1 by 2. So that will be the answer. 1 by 12 divided by 6 by 12. It's 1/6. If two dice are rolled, what is the probability that the sum of the faces is 8, given that the first die rolled is even? Even die again, even or odd, it will just be 50% or it's 18 by 36. What about the above one? Let's write. It should be even. So I can't use 1. 2 and 6 is the only possible sum to get 8. Then 3 is not possible. 4 and 4 is possible. And then what else? 5 it's not possible. 6 and 2. So there are only 3 possibilities out of 36 that will give us 8 and even number. This is it. It's now 3 by 36 is how much? 1 by 12, because the table of 1 and 12 goes 1 by 12 and this is 1 by 2 is the same answer. Or you can just solve it up over here. It will be 3 by 18. That's 1 by 6. Yes, that's the correct answer. A school picnic offers students hamburgers, hot dogs, chips, and a drink. At the picnic, 60% of the students order a hamburger and 48% of the students order a hamburger and chips. What is the conditional probability that a student who orders hamburger also orders a chip? So here let me take student hamburgers as A, hot dogs as B. Students orders hamburgers, hot dogs, chips, and a drink. Now let's look at these to understand which is the condition A. 60% orders a hamburger, that's A. 48% orders hamburger and chips, that is A intersection B. So let me remove these from here. So let me write probability of B condition A will be equal to probability of A and B divided by probability of A. What is the conditional probability that the student who orders hamburger also orders chips? So here we have the percentages, right? A intersection B is how much? 48% divided by 60%. Percent cancels anyways. So that will be the answer. Just put in the calculator, you get the conditional probability. Let's do it in the calculator. Here it is 48% or 0.48 divided by 60%. Also, if you don't write the percent, it's fine. The answer must be 4 by 5 or 80%. Yes, that's it. So the next part of the question, A, if 50% of the students ordered chips, are the events of ordering hamburger and ordering chips independent? No, they're dependent on each other, right? Over here, the values we got 80%. No, it's not the same. Here, it's no, they are dependent on each other. And if 80% of the students who ordered a hot dog also ordered a drink, and 35% of all students ordered a hot dog, what is the probability that the student in the picnic orders a hot dog and drink? Look over here. The conditional probability is given. Here, the condition is 35% of all students ordered a hot dog. That is A. Hot dog is A. A, the condition of B and A is over here, and we need to find A intersection B and drink. Okay. Let us write probability of B condition A is equal to probability of A intersection B divided by probability of A. Now here, this is given as 80%. And what is the probability of ordering? The condition is only 35%. The above one, probability of A and B is required. Just put in the calculator, you'll get the answer. Take this 35 to the other side, multiply it with 80%. Here, all we have to do is 80% or 0.8, you can take it as multiplied by 35%. Shift and here. The answer is 0.28 or 28%. That's the final answer, as you can see. Before moving ahead, a quick reminder and a humble request. Please do share my channel and my videos with your friends and to whoever that can benefit from it. And I also kindly ask you if you can hit the subscribe button and like my videos, it would mean a lot. The question 18 is about probability with permutations and combination. It's from the module 7.4. The exercises 1 to 7 involves only permutation problems. So here in the writing part, question 18, only permutation problems are mentioned. The first problem is about cheerleading. The cheerleading squad is made up of 12 girls. A captain and a co-captain are selected at random. What is the probability that Chantel and Clover are chosen as leaders? Now, before we start writing formula or what is it, noting anything, we need to understand this is writing exam, so writing is very important. So what I'll do is, for such problems, I always write given, and let's see what is given to us. Total made up of how many girls? 12 girls. So n is the total number, n is 12. And what is the R? The selection. It's captain and co-captain. R is 2. Okay. And this is about permutation. Why? Because you need order away, captain and a co-captain. And you know, all these problems are about permutations itself in this. So the formula, what is the formula we can use? It is NPR. You can use this directly in the calculator. I'll also write the formula. This over here is n factorial divided by n minus r the whole factorial. This is the formula, this the expansion of this, or you can use it in calculator, up to you. And then Let's try solving it. One more formula. What is the probability formula? P, probability. Okay, this is probability. Probability is given by desired or favorable outcome. Desired or favorable outcomes divided by the total possible outcomes. Total outcomes. I'll just write it. So what does this mean? Probability is what possibility you want to occur divided by the total possibilities that is going that can occur in the situation. So these are the formulas. Now let's see one by one. The desired outcome can be seen just by what they have asked. See the second part. What is the probability that Chantel and Clover are chosen as leaders? So desired is about these two becoming leaders. What are the positions? Captain and co-captain, right? There is one possibility. See over here, it's clearly told captain and a co-captain. So here, if Chandel is the captain, then Clover has to be co-captain, or Clover can be captain and Chandel will be the co-captain. So there are two possibilities. Here, first person is captain, second one is co-captain, or the other way around. So the desired outcome over here, you can write it as solution. The desired outcome, what we have, outcomes is 2. Why? Because it's either captain, co-captain, or the other way around. Now, what is the total outcomes? Total outcomes. That is given as NPR. We can easily solve it like this. What is N? 12 permutations 2. And the formula is also there. If you want, you can just substitute 12 factorial divided by 12 minus 2 the whole factorial. That's it. Now here, you don't need to substitute and directly put it in the formula. Probability. What is the probability? Probability will be 2 divided by 12p2. This is it. You just have to put this in the calculator and that gives you the answer. You can see over here, it will be 12. P is given by shift and P, that is multiplication number. Shift and multiplication gives you this term P, and R is 2. It's 132. Over here, if you want, you can write it like this because it's writing exam. That's why 132. Now here it'll be 2 divided by 132. That is 66. Yeah. So 2 divided by 132 will be 1 by 66. That will be the final answer. Now, if you want to find it in percentage, all you need to do is multiply this by 100. So it is 1.52%. You can see it's 1 by 6. They have left it like this itself, 1 by 66. Just leave it as it is. And that's how we solve it. Now here, I'm just looking at this method. See, you can solve in different ways. So that's why they have used a different method. But what I did over here, this permutation thing, right, NPR, you can use it for most of the problems, okay? So let's stick to this method. It might be easier. So this is how we solve it. We can use the same thing and try solving the next one. Here, what is happening? You have a textbook for each. You have a textbook for each of the following subject: Spanish, English, chemistry, geometry, history, and psychology. If you choose 4 of these textbooks at random and arrangement, it's permutation, and arrange on a shelf, what is the probability that the geometry textbook will be first from the left and the chemistry textbook will be second from the left? Now here, see, we have 2 situations. First one is total number of textbooks: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So given, I'll directly write, you need to write given and all in the exam, and is 6. What is R? Selection. If you choose 4 textbooks out of this at random to arrange on the shelf, what is the probability that geometry textbook will be first from the left and chemistry will? See, we are only dealing with geometry and chemistry. We do not need these 4 textbooks. That doesn't matter. So what you can do is, this is the easier way. Just see what after this, what is the probability? What have they asked? Geometry and chemistry, right? So R is equal to 2, isn't it? Ignore this middle sentence altogether. This is just to straight. I mean, you can do another method, but I'll do the easiest method first, okay? N is 6. R is 2. Now they have clearly told geometry must be first and then chemistry must be second. How many possibilities are there? So probability desired by total, right? The desired is only one possibility. Why? Because there is no other way you can have geometry and chemistry. This must be first and this must be second. That's it. And then what is the total possibilities? N, PR, that is 6. N is 6, P2. Just this is the answer. But now, if you write so much, it's not enough. Of course, in the exam, you need to write in details. What I had written just a while ago, given N, R, then you need to write the formula. What is the formula? NPR, probability is desired by total, and then total outcomes, N6P, NPR, that is 6P2. Then desired outcomes, 1. Just follow what we had just now written. Just a while ago we had written, if I just go back, you can just go back to few seconds or few minutes before, I think so a couple of minutes before, and see the exact method to write, and then follow this at 6P2 here. And just let's put this in the calculator. Here is 1 divided by 6p. Sorry, it's not multiplication, shift and multiplication symbol. 2. The answer is 1 by 30. So that must be the answer. Now again, over here they have used a different method, but whichever method you do, it is absolutely fine. Now even using the permutation also, you can do another method. You can consider how many books are chosen. See, now you can stop watching over here, go to the next problem. But if you're very curious all the possibilities, then probability can be, total possibilities is 6p4, because now these many are chosen, right? And then out of this 4, there are 2 chosen. So you can write 4p2. Let's just try. This should work, because here initially 6 books are there and 4 are chosen. So 6p4 is the total possibility. And then what are the desired possibility that these 2 books will, this will come first and second? That is again over here 4p2, right? We need these 2 books. So let's see in the calculator. Here 4p2 divided by 6p4, it is again 1 by 30. But I wouldn't go with this method. This is just, I think so that is what is done over here. But the method which I did initially, 6p2, that is down, and it's 1 possibility favorite desired outcome. That's the most easiest one. So it's 1 by 30. That's the answer. Let's look at this one. Alfonso and Cordell each bought 1 raffle ticket at the state fair. If 50 tickets were randomly sold, what is the probability that Alfonso got ticket 14 and Cordell got ticket 23? Okay, again, it's very simple. There is n, you need to write given, n is equal to 50, r is equal to 2. There are 2 possibilities, right? What are the formulas? NPR equals n factorial by n minus r the whole factorial. And we have probability is equal to desired outcome by total outcomes. You need to write it full, okay, properly. And then you need to write over here desired outcomes is, how many desired outcomes are there here? See, Alfonso has to get 14 and Cordell has to get 23. There's only one possibility that this will occur, It's not like either one of them can have either of these. Order is not, they have clearly mentioned 14 must be with Alfonso, Cordell must have 22, and they can't have any other things, So it's only one desired outcome. But the total outcomes are over here. This one, NP, that is 50p2. So the probability will be 1 divided by 50p2. We'll just put this in the calculator. Here we have to write 1 divided by 50. P is shift and multiplication symbol. 2. It should be 1 by 2450. Let's check the answer. Yes, that's the correct answer itself. You need to remember one thing. There are various methods to solve the same problem. Now here, this is another method. The method which I do is another method. The method which I do can be used usually to any problem and it'll still remain the same. See, now I'm just going to use the same thing where I use n, r, and then the probability formula, that is desired or favorable by total. Let's read this problem. Nia and Zero are going to a concert with their high school's key club. If they choose a seat in the row below at random, here are the seating, what is the probability that Zero will be in seat C11? This one, and Nia will be in seat C12. See, look at that. The seats are specified. There's only one desired possibility that Zero will be over here and Nia will be at C12. There's only one desired possibility. What is the N? Let's count all the seats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. N is 12. What about R? 2 seats, right? 2 selection. We just have to write 12 P2. Here it is probability because the arrangement matters. That's it. You put it in the calculator and you get the answer. It is 1 divided by 12 P2, and here you go. It's 1 by 132. Now here another method is used. Whichever you're comfortable with, go ahead, but since it's writing exam, please make sure you write what I usually write. In the previous problem I've written in detail, same way, please make sure you write it in detail and then solve it up. This is an interesting problem because here we need to solve in a different method. Here there are 4 numbers. What is the probability that a 7-digit telephone number generated using these digits here, 2325273, is the number 2223357? Now look, let me just tell you about the arrangement. Now let's start arranging this. Let me arrange all the 2's together. There are 3 2's and 3 3's and then 5 7. This is one possible arrangement. One more possible arrangement would be just swapping this 2, right? And now imagine I want to swap these 3's. I'll swap this over here and this over here, but still it's going to remain the same, right? So when the numbers are repeated, like same numbers are there, you will have extra numbers. I mean, the outcomes can be repeated. So we have to eliminate these. How can we do it? That is done by this method, n factorial by r1 factorial. We have this r2 factorial. What does this mean is, it's very simple. How many total digits are there? There are 7 digits. 7 factorial divided by, if there are any repetitions, just divide it. 2 is repeated how many times? Thrice, isn't it? 1, 2, 3. So it's 3 factorial multiplied by 3 is repeated how many? 2 times. 2 factorial. And this 5 is only once. 1 factorial is the same thing, so you don't write it. So this is the total possibilities, the total outcomes, right? Now you need to write in steps here. Probability formula. What is probability formula? Probability formula is desired outcomes divided by total, right? So this is it. And the total outcomes, you need to write in detail, is here. And if you put this in the calculator, let's see what we'll get. We are use this fraction. 7 factorial is by shift and this symbol here, inverse symbol, and then we have 3 factorial multiplied with 2 factorial, and the answer is 420. So here we have 420. What is the desired over here? There is only one possibility because we need exactly this one. So there is only one possible desired outcome. So the total probability will be 1 divided by 420. That is the answer. Here this is the same method because whenever we have repetition of numbers, it might be letters. M and M again, you know, sometimes numbers letters can be repeated. Then that's the same method. You need to first write the total letters, total number of letters, and then divide by the repeating numbers. Here it's numbers. We wrote 7 and then 2 is 3 times, so it's 3 factorial and then 2 factorial. Now imagine there were 2 7s, then again multiplied by 2 factorial. Here again it's a similar one, I believe. A store randomly assigns the employees work identification numbers to track productivity. Each number consists of 5 digits ranging from 1 to 9. If the digits cannot repeat, what is the probability that a randomly generated number is? 25938. Sorry, this is not like previous one. You're not selecting any numbers or anything. It's a random number generator. There are totally how much numbers? From 1 to 9, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there are 9. N is 9. And what is the selection? How many digits are there in that work identification number? R is 5. So here probability desired, we want this particular number. So it's 1 divided by, what is this? NPR. So you can write the formula and all. You need to write the given formula, then each step. Desired outcome 1, total possibilities 9p5. Let's put in the calculator and check. 1 divided by 9p5. It's 1 by 15,120, and yes, that's the correct answer. Look, in the exam, please write in detail like I've done in the previous problem. Same thing you need to repeat, just change the values. If this is the answer, say it's 9p5, and you can use the formula and solve it as well, and you'll get the answer. But substitution is very important, the detail, and then you can just get the answer. The last problem here. The table shows the finalists of class president. The order in which they will give their speeches will be chosen randomly. What is the probability that Denny, Kelly, and Chaminade are the first 3 speakers in any order? Okay, now in any order means these 3 can be chosen in any order, but these must be the first 3 speakers. There are how many total? 1, 2, 3, 7 speakers. So the total possible probability will be total desired divided by total, right? The total is 7p, because order is important here, and it is 3. But here now, it can be either Denny first, Kelly first, Chaminade, or anyone can have. So let me write DKC. First can be this possibility, or it can be DCK. So this can be swapped, or it can be C, D, K, C, and so on. You can keep on writing. How do we find that? It is only 6 possibilities are there. It's 3 factorial. That's it. That is how we find it, because we can keep on trying different orders, right? It will be K and D, and then the first term can be K, and then we have DC and KCD. So these are the 6 different possibilities that are desired, that we don't mind if any of these possibility comes, that's fine. So that's 3 factorial is basically 6, and the total is total number 7np3. That's it. Let's put that in the calculator and check. Here we have 3 factorial is shift and this symbol here, and 7p3. It's 1 by 35. You can see here it's 1 by 35. Now 7p3 is 210, so it's 3 factorial by 210. So on. Now there's B, I guess. Now what is the probability that Denny is first, Kelly is second, and Chaminade is third? See, now basically they have given us, it can only be this order. Denny is first, Kelly is second, only one possibility. So it's 1 by this number, it's 1 by 210. It's very simple, right? All that changed over here is they have given the orders, definite orders, so our desired or the favorable outcome is only 1 divided by this is 7p3. So that is how we solved it. Before moving ahead, a quick reminder and a humble request. Please do share my channel and my videos with your friends and to whoever that can benefit from it. And I also kindly ask you if you can hit the subscribe button and like my videos, it would mean a lot. Here we will study how to solve and graph absolute value equations. Here we have been given the question which is just so small. We have to solve each equation by graphing. And this is in the writing part of the exam. There are few things. There are 4 steps which I can divide. First step would be just basic info from the equation. Okay. Rewriting the equation, you can tell. Rewriting the given equation. That's the first step. Then next step is table of values which we can easily get it from the calculator. Step 3 would be graph, and lastly, step 4 is solving this. We have solved this before as well, so we will just look into how to solve this as well. That's the last step. So step 1, rewriting the given equation. Whatever is given over here, x minus 4 equals phi, right? We cannot put this in the calculator and get the graph unless and until we make everything at one side. That means this phi, take it to the other side. It's going to be x minus 4 minus phi equals 0. Now this is it. This is it. This is the first part. Rewriting the equation is equal to 0. Now you can right away rewriting the equation with one side equals to 0, but that's too many words. So just rewriting the equation, if you remember, it's enough. Or just write step 1 and do this. And another thing which will help you in the next step is whatever is inside this magnitude or modulus symbol, x minus 4, just make it equal to 0. What is the x value? Positive 4, right? This is important. You don't need to write it. This is just for your understanding for the next step. Okay, this is just for you. Step 2 would be table of values. Table of values. Now this is the table we make. Sorry, it's a very bad table, but anyways, this is x and this is y. Now what is the x value? You can't just take minus phi to phi or anything like that. You have to take, what is this value we got? 4 as the center or the mid value. Take some values less than that and greater than that. I'm going to take 4 less than that is 3 and 2. That's enough because it's a linear, you know, this absolute value are linear functions. You don't need any variations. And over here we have 5, 6. What about this? We don't need to solve it manually for each of these. We'll use the calculator and get these values of 5. So what we do is mod 7 gives you table. Type this equal to, see, whatever is f of x is basically 0 over here. And now what is their absolute value? How do you get that absolute value? Shift and HYP gives you absolute. You can see that ABS. Now alpha x minus 4, that's already closed. Go next and put minus 5. Now where do you start at? Now this is just press equal. There's only one equation we are solving. Start at 2. Ending last point is 6 and step 1. Here we go. These are the values. We can see it's minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, and then it'll repeat itself as minus 4, minus 3. It's not going to increase because, you know, this is the dipping point and then it again goes up, increases. Step 2 is done. Step 3 would be graph. Step 3, graph. Graph the equation. Graph the equation. EQN is the short form for equation. Now you will be given the grid. Now this, whatever I'm drawing, is not at all to the scale, but let me just you know, try my best. So what I'll do is I'll take this line pow, because it's all negative values, right? So where do we have? Only the right side is more in picture over here. It's 2. Imagine this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not at all to the scale, but let me just give it a try. Over here is 2, and where is minus 3? Over here, so this will be the point, 1 point. 3 and minus 4, minus 4 and 3 somewhere over here. 4 and minus 5 somewhere over here. And then again we have minus 4 and, see, over here. Minus 4 and 5. And then 6 and minus 3. So this is how, somewhat like this, the graph will look like. We can extend these lines, which are not at all accurate. But anyways, when you do it in a scale and a pencil, you'll get much accurate points. And if you have a grid itself, it will be much, much more accurate. So this is the step 3, that is graphing the equation. I hope you understand this is graph the equation. Graph the equation, given equation or the question, anything. Now then, step 4. If you extend this a lot, you will come to know where it intersects. That's the solution region, right? Now what you do is step 4, find the solution. Find the solution. Graphing is done, find the solution. You can find it from here, but most of the time our graphs will be inaccurate. So don't rely on this. So what we'll do is we have to do it in two steps. See, step one, like case one, right? Case one, case two. Because this is absolute value, whatever is there inside can be the plus or minus, isn't it? But instead of doing this all plus or minus, I'll just take the right side as plus or minus. It's easier. Remove the modulus, it'll be x minus 4 equals 5, and here x minus 4 equals minus 5. Let's solve them up. This goes to the other side, x is equal to 5 plus 4, x is equal to 9. One of the solution, that's over here at the right. And here it will be x is equal to minus 5 plus 4, x will be equal to minus 1. That's over here, this should be minus 1. And somewhere over there it will be 9. So these are the two solutions. If you write so much, you'll get the full marks, and this is a lengthy problem, so the marks also will be more for this. It might be 10, 12 marks because there are plenty of steps. So this is how you accurately do it. If you do this much for all these equations, you'll definitely get a full mark for this problem. So rewriting the equation, make sure you write everything at one side, and one side will be equal to 0. Step 2 would be the table of values. Now you need to find what is the point at the center in the table of values, x, midpoint. Middle of the graph will be at 4. Why? Because x minus 4 is equal to 0 and x is equal to 4. Then you get the other values. Just two values less than that and more than that is enough. You get the table of values and draw an approximate graph. Then solve it. Find the solution. Case 1. It'll be x minus 4 equals 5. When we remove this, it'll be either plus or minus 5. So next one will be minus 5. Solve both of them. The answers are minus 1 and 9. So here we go. They have taken a lot of values. It's just going to take too much time. And then the final solution is minus 1 and 9. You can see minus 1 and 9. So here we go. That's it. How about this problem? Same thing. I'm not going to do in detail. You need to remember this detailed steps. I'm just going to quickly run through it. So the equation is going to be 2x minus 3 minus 17 equals 0. That's step 1. The step 2 is to focus which is the point in the mid of the table of values. This is table of values, sorry. Step 2 is table of values. But what is the midpoint here? So I'll just write it somewhere here. It's 2x minus 3 equals 0. So 2x is equal to 3. X is equal to 3 by 2. That is 1.5. So here it'll be 1.5. I'm not going to take 0.5s. It's going to be complicated. So I'm just going to take 1.5. Less than that is 1, 0, 2. And here I'm going to take 3. X, Y. So let's find the table of values. Here it is mode 7. So let's write the rewritten equation, not the given equation. Shift HYP gives you absolute value. It's 2x alpha x minus 3. Then press next and write minus 17. If you write minus 17 inside, then it's wrong. You can't get the answer. So here, press equal to, and then start it at 0, end it at 3. And the thing is, when you have one, I'll tell you in a minute. Let's do this first. Now the values are given. It is minus 14, minus 16, minus 15, all these. You just have to write it out over here. But we are still missing 1.5, isn't it? What you can do over here is, you can either go back again for this equation and start at say 1, end it at 2, and you can give a step of 0.5, you will get it. Or you can start at 0 and 3 with the step of 0.5, you will have 1.5 as well. But okay, if you're not able to do it, you want to keep the step 1 itself, just go out of this mode and equate this. See, shift this one, 2 into what is x value? 1.5 minus 3, and then what do we have? Minus 17. How much is the answer? It's minus 17 here. Or whatever is inside the absolute value will be equal to 0 because we're equating that to 0, right? So just make this equal to 0. What is remaining? Minus 17, that will be the answer. So there are various ways to easily find these values. You can just put this back in the equation, you'll get it as well. Now, once you have those values over here, you need to graph it. See, now they are taken over here random values, but these values are most important because at 1.5, there'll be somewhere here, you can see this is the point. minus 17, the bottommost point. Then at 1, it is over here, 2, 3. You'll get just these points, but that's enough. Then you just extend it. You don't need to bring it. I mean, take a scale. You can bring it over here as well. Don't worry, in the exam, you'll have a reasonable scale and everything will be easily given. Once this is done, don't forget the last step. After the graphing, don't forget the last step to solve it. That'll be step 4, because step 3 will be graphing for us. And then that is case 1 and case 2. It is 2x minus 3 equals 17. 2x minus 3 equals minus 17. Just, you can put in the calculator and check your answers as well, or you just solve this up. Just do a couple of steps or one step and then direct the answer. It's okay. So that will be the answers. Here the answer is negative 7 and positive 10. We can solve it up. Here it will be 2x is equal to 20, x is equal to 10, and over here x will be equal to minus 14. 2x is equal to minus 14, x is equal to minus 7. So that is the answers. Yes. Same thing here as well, but what happens here? When we bring this inside, this cancels off, so your equation is 2x plus 1 only. And what about the midpoint? It will be x is equal to minus 1 by 2, that is half, negative half. And here, say negative half, you'll get 0. Why? Because there was no other values, right? See, rewrite it like this. It'll be 0. You can use the calculator, get the table of values, and then graph it up once you get the table of values. Then don't forget you have to solve it as well. Now, what do you solve? Here, when you solve this, 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. That means you don't have to do it like this, 2 cases. That means you will have only 1 point on the x-axis. So x is equal to negative half or negative 0.5. That's the only one solution. You don't have two solutions like the previous problem. Only one, as you can see over here. So that will be the answer. It's negative half. Same thing here, but you will have some value when you bring this inside. It's going to be x minus 1 plus 6 minus 4 will be plus 2. That is equal to 0. So you have to use this equation and use it in the calculator and solve it up. So that's the equation. Be plus 2. Put it in the calculator, you get the table of values, you can graph. But look at this, there is no solution whatsoever. Why? Because if you look carefully, x minus 1 is equal to how much? When it goes to the other side, 6 to the other side, it will be minus 2. Or just take this 2 to the other side, it will be minus 2, right? Can you have any value that is equal to minus 2? Absolute value equals negative answer. No, because it doesn't matter, it's minus 2 or plus 2, the answer will be only positive. The final answer, the right must be positive, but here it doesn't satisfy that. Therefore, we have no solution. You can easily find it in the graph as well. And you can see this is an empty set. It doesn't have any solution. The solution equation is a null. Here it is similar to the previous one. 7 and 7 cancels will be equal to 0. And you can easily solve them up. Now here, what is the midpoint? The middle value will be x is equal to 1 by thirds. Why? Because this is equal to 0, will be x is equal to 1 thirds. Now what you can do is, now in such cases, I usually take the previous point as 1. 1 third is, 0.6. I'll take it as 0 minus 1, 1, 2. This is enough. You don't need to take all these values because as you know, this will be 0. You can get all the other values in the calculator and just graph them. You'll just get these values and extend it. That's more than enough. And whenever this becomes alone, see the 7 and 7 cancels, it's equal to 0. That means the solution will be only one solution. You won't have two. So here as well, you can see it only touches one time on the x-axis. This is the solution. It's 1/3. The last problem, let me do the steps here quickly. Step 1 is rewriting this equation. It will be x plus 2. That will be equal to, this comes inside, it will be minus 13 plus 5. Over here it will be minus 8. That is equal to 0. So this is the first equation. Step 2 would be the table of values. What will be the center? It will be minus 2. Why? Because x plus 2 is equal to 0. X is equal to minus 2. Minus 3, minus 4. Here will be minus 1, 0. And you can write 1. X, and what are the y values? Just put this in the calculator. Let me show you how you put in the calculator. You need to go to mode and 7. Type this rearranged equation. Shift H5 gives you absolute value. alpha x plus 2 minus, go to the go next and then minus 8, start it at say minus 4, end it at say 1 or 0, that's fine, step of 1. These are the values. Yeah, these are the y values. You can just make those stable. Over here you can see all these are the once they have taken different scale, that's absolutely fine. You can just stick to these values, that's also absolutely fine. You'll get some values here close by and then extend those lines. Make sure you solve these equations by two cases. What I do is, first case would be x plus 2 equals, let's take this to the other side, it will be 8, and x plus 2 is equal to minus 8. Whenever you solve this, make sure you take the given equation, write absolute value alone and everything else to the other side, and then solve it up. If at all you have a negative value at the right side, then ignore it, that's wrong. Now then it's x is equal to 8 minus 2, that is 6, but you need to do the steps. X is equal to minus 8 minus 2, that is minus 10. So these are the two answers. You can see one is 6 and one is minus 10. Here we have the answers, and that's how we can easily graph and find the solutions of the absolute value equations. The final question in the writing part, the question 20, is about discriminants. It's from the module 1.6. Though they have asked you about quadratic formula, they are just asking you to find the discriminant for this given quadratic function. I'll write the quadratic formula here. The x value can be found out by minus b plus or minus square root b square minus 4 times ac divided by 2 times a. This is the quadratic formula. If you apply this over here, you get the roots, the solutions for this equation. But this particular question, they have just asked you the discriminants, and we need to describe the number of roots and type of the equation, roots and all that stuff. From here, we can find the discriminant, and then we can tell what type of roots and how many roots will there be for this equation. That is only this part in this quadratic equation formula, only b square minus 4ac. So since it's the writing part, step 1, given. So let's see what is given. Here you need to remember the standard form of quadratic equation. It is ax squared minus bx plus c, that is equal to 0. If you press mod phi and 3 is, don't press 3. If you just press mod phi in your calculator, let me show you here. If you just press mod and then phi, that is equation, you can see the third equation, it's ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. That is the standard form of the quadratic functions. From here you can see what is a value. If there's nothing, it's 1, isn't it? Given a equals 1. What about b value? It's plus, so it's not minus, it's plus. It's minus 8 because over here b is having a sign negative in the about it. Just above a, b is 8, but this sign minus, it's supposed to be plus. If it's minus, we write it as minus 8. And lastly, what is the c value? C is 16. So these are given. And then the formula, what is the formula? Discriminant formula is given by b squared minus 4 times ac. This is whatever is inside in the quadratic formula. That square root inside the square root, this is the thing. Now what we need to do is step 2, find the discriminant. Step 2, discriminant. It will be given in the question. You can just copy it from there. If you cannot remember the spelling exactly, you can write find discriminant, and then let's find it. Substitute over here. B is minus 8 the whole squared minus 4 times. What is A? It's 1. C is 16. You can just put this in the calculator and you'll get the answer. It's 64 minus 64, 0 basically over here, because 8 squared is 64 minus 16 times 4 is 64 as well. So you got 0 as the answer. So whenever there is 0 in the discriminant, you will have only one root. And we can prove this using calculator. Let's press 3 over here. That is the quadratic equation, mod phi 3. And let's type in the coefficients. It's 1, A is 1, we have B value of -8, and lastly C is 16. And you can see there's only X. That is only one solution over here. And imagine, let's just change this value to say 2. You would have x1, this is complex root, which is not real numbers. X1 and x2, generally you'll have two roots, x1 and x2, but over here you can see it's only one root, so it's only x. So this step 3, you need to write about the roots. See, it's not only finding the discriminant, you need to tell how many roots and all are there, right? And what type of roots. So step 3 is, how many roots are there? There is roots, you can write like this. Roots means solution is equal to 1 type of roots. It's rational. And that's it. The discriminant answer is up above. It's 0. Discriminant is 0. So that will be the final answer. Discriminant is 0. Number of roots. You can write number of roots here, not just roots. Step 3, number of roots. So if you write these things in the exam, you must get full marks. So it's what is given, write the formula, discriminant, that is what you're solving, use the formula, substitute the values, you'll get the answer for the discriminant. Then write number of roots, that's 1. And from solving over here as well in the calculator, you can get that. And type of root, it's rational numbers, right? So it's rational. Now, whenever you have a perfect square, imagine over here it was 4 or 25 or 36. All 6 squared is 36. So if you have 36 or 49, it will be rational roots. Whereas any numbers other than perfect squares would be irrational roots. And if it's negative number in the discriminant, it's complex roots. So only when it's 0, it will be rational, and it's only 1. So here, let's look into some other problems. What about this one? I'm going to write quickly. I'm not going to write in details. I'm not going to write steps and everything. I'll just write these ABC, formula, substitution, and the final answer only. So here you can see the A value is 1, B value is -11, and C value is -26. So the formula is B squared minus 4 times AC. It is -11 the whole squared minus 4 times A is 1, C is -26. So here we have -11 squared, it'll be 121, and over here 4 times 26, 100 plus 4 is 104. That is subtracted, and when you subtract this, you'll get 117. So yeah, I hope this is correct. So you can just use your calculator. Now discriminant is done. What is the final answer? There will be 2 roots, and they're irrational. Why? Because it is not a perfect square. Now, I did a mistake. There's minus and minus, it's plus. I just realized that now the answer is wrong, what I had written. It's plus 225. 225 is a perfect square. You can take the square root, it's 15, right? So it's a rational. Over here, it's a rational. 2 roots which are rational. You can do it over here. So yes, that's the correct answer. Let me show you. Square root 2 to 5 will be 15. And if you just press mod 5 and 3 and now type the given question 1, -11, -26. You can see the answers are 13 and -2. Those are the 2 roots. And they are rational. Why? Because they're whole numbers, rational numbers. Similarly, try the others. You can just check it in your calculator first. 3, there is x term -2, but there's no constant term, so we take it as 0. We have x1 as 2/3 and x2 is 0. Now here, this is a fraction. That means it's a rational number. Even this one is rational roots. So that means it'll be a perfect square. Let's quickly solve this one. It's going to be 2 and rational. That's the same thing. But this is going to change here. And also, we will have different ABC values. So that's the only thing that will change. A value is 3, -2, 0. So substitute over here -2 the whole squared times 4 times 3 times 0. So it's only 4, isn't it? This is not required, but because it's 2 squared over here, 0 is there'll be 0. It's 2 irrational roots. That is what they want. And similarly, you can solve the others. You can use your calculator, but you need to do the steps no matter what. Mode phi 3 to use the calculator, it'll be 20, 7, and minus 3. And here we go. It's again rational roots. So we have two rational roots because we're getting fractions. So here it'll be 7 b squared, that is 7 squared minus 4 times a is 20 and c is minus 3. So it's going to be 49 plus 80 times 3. You can just do it like 4 times 3 is 12, 20 will be 240 here. Over here it's 289. Yes, 289 is 17, right? I hope it's 17. So that is a perfect square, so it's rational roots. And please do try the others. They're all same. I'm going to solve it, but now you can stop the video and you can try solving these by yourselves rather than watching the video now. It's phi x squared. So what is the a value? A value is phi. There is no b value because there is no x term. It's 0. And what is the c value? It's minus 6. The formula is minus b squared minus 4 times ac. It's 0 squared minus 4 times phi times minus 6. So here we have 20. 20 times 6 is positive 120 when you put this in calculator. And this is not a perfect square, so it's irrational roots. Now if you solve this up over here, mode phi 3, you will have phi 0 and minus 6. And look at the answers. They are irrational square root. They are irrational numbers. So those are the two roots, and you have two roots, they are irrational. Let's do this one. It will be 0 squared minus 4 times 1 times minus 6. So 6 times 4 is 24. It's gonna be positive 24. Yes. Again, it's two roots, irrational. And you can double check in your calculator by mode phi 3. It's 1, 0, minus 6. The answer is square root 6 and negative square root 6. They are irrational. What about this one? Mode phi 3, it is 1, that is a value. B value is 8 and 13. So here we have minus 2.26 and positive negative 5.73. They are irrational as well. You can easily check this out. 8 squared minus 4 times 1 times 13. So here 26, 50, 52 and it's 64. So we have 12. So discriminant is 12, so it's not a perfect square, and yes, that's why it's irrational roots. What about this one here? Mode phi 3, phi negative 1, negative 1. And again, it's irrational roots because the discriminant is not perfect square. So discriminant would be minus 1 the whole square minus 4 times 5 times minus 1. It's going to be 1 minus plus. Why? Because minus and minus would be plus 20. So it's 21, which is not a perfect square. So here we go. You need to do the steps which I did it for the first problem. You can go back in the video, check the detailed steps, and please follow that. What about this one? Here as well, it's minus 2 the whole squared minus 4 times 1 times 17. So it's 17 2s are 64, 34, 68, negative, sorry, it's minus 17, it's positive 68, and over here we have 4, that's going to be 72. So this is again irrational roots, and there are two. Mode phi 3, 1, minus 2, and minus 17 is irrational roots. As you can see, these numbers keep on going until infinity. That's why they are irrational. Now what about this? Now this is an imaginary number. Looking at this, I can say when it goes to the other side, it'll be 49, negative 49, and square root of negative numbers is complex. Here we can consider 1. There is no b value with 0, and lastly 49. So it's going to be 0 squared minus 4 times 1 times 49. 49 times 4, it's 200 minus 4, 196. But minus 196, so whenever you have negative numbers, it's complex roots. And there'll be two conjugates, always two roots, but they're complex. You can check this out, mode 5, 3, it's 1, 0, and 49. It's 7i minus 7i. So they're complex roots. They're not asking you exactly what roots are they. You can check it out in the calculator, but what they want exactly is what type of roots and the discriminant. Here, let's look at this one. Even this is going to be complex, I believe. It's mode phi 3, 1, minus 1, and lastly 1. It's again it's complex roots, and always complex roots will be plus or minus in terms of two conjugates, they're called. Here it's minus 1 the whole square minus 4 times 1 times 1, and yes, it's all negative, so it's 1 minus 4, it's negative 3. So that is the discriminant value, the minus 3 and two complex roots. The last problem here, again we can check it out by mode phi 3. It is 2 minus 3 and my okay, now here they're not in the same equation. It is ax plus b, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. We have 2x squared minus 3x, and this needs to come to the other side, be plus 2 equals 0. This is a very important thing to remember. Write it in the standard form. That is an important step in this problem. Now we can check it out over here. Positive 2. See, it is complex numbers. Whereas if we change this to minus 2, look over here, you're getting rational roots. It's entirely different answers. So please be careful with this. Just one sign changed the entire roots completely. So it is complex roots over here. Let's solve it up. Minus 3 the whole square minus 4 times 2 times 2. It's going to be minus 16 here and positive 19. So we will have 6, 7, minus 7. So they are complex roots because we have a negative discriminant. As you can see, it's minus 7 the discriminant, two complex roots. And that is the end of all the writing part questions. I hope you have found these videos helpful and beneficial. I wish you all the best for your exams. Please do prepare well in advance for your exams. Don't leave it at the last minute. And if you have any doubts, please try re-watching the video or ask your questions in the comments, and I'll try to get back to you very soon. And thank you very much for your support for my channel. I'm really humbled by all the appreciation and thanks I receive on the channel. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you could do me a huge favor, then please do share this channel with anyone who do not know about this and who could benefit from it. And if you can, please do hit the subscribe button and like my videos. It would mean a lot. Thank you very much, and bye-bye for now.